Hi everybody, welcome back for another video, and this is a One Book July follow-up for week 2. You can see I've got some traveler's notebooks here, and I wanted to share first this notebook. This was the, I think the second Chic Sparrow I ever bought. It is in the chocolate creme. I think that's what it was called back then. You can see, let's make sure I can show you the stamping. It was when it just said Chic Sparrow in the larger letters, and I even had it stamped. It's kind of hard to see where it says John. But this is a deluxe in the chocolate creme. Still one of my favorite leathers. I've been trying to get I had a classic in the narrow size, and then you know how we go through things, and I wasn't using that size, and someone saw it and wanted it, and so it went to them, and now I wish I had it back. Mine was like an original that had just the leather, the elastic came out of the back, and it was, you know, just a beautiful piece of leather. But it's at a home where the person's loving it and still using it, and it looks amazing. But I was using this one by that time, and it was just holding old inserts. So, and they haven't had the narrow creme in the chocolate in stock in months. I mean, I've been on the list to get one, or to get notification when it's available back, gosh, since November maybe? I mean, it's been a long time. So I doubt I'll ever get one. So I'll just stick with this one. But you can see when we compare it with, here's one of my original Midori Traveler's Notebook. You can see it is personal size, and this is the standard size. This is what I used my very first One Book July. I think everybody that year was trying a personal size TN. Now this is the old personal size TN, because I consider the new personal size that Chic Sparrow and a lot of the other makers have, I consider that to be more of a true B6 Slim, because the B6 Slim that you get from Chic Sparrow and like Boho Cottage and other places is much larger, or their personal is much larger than the true personal size. But I used this for half of last year. I used it in January, February, March, April, and May. I was using the DIY fish. I went back to last year, at the beginning of the year, what was working for me. And it was the DIY fish month on a page. I never use these monthly trackers. They're just not a good fit for me. I was keeping track of our bills. Wow, like 90% of that stuff we don't even have anymore. We've really cut our bills down, which is good. My word for last year was open. And it was the week on 2 pages, where you can turn this into a tracker. And then it had a day on a page. And this worked so well for me. And then come the end of May, when school, when university let out, I was doing more journaly stuff in here, and, you know, putting down stickers and washi tape and that type of stuff. But I just wanted to show you, this was when they first came out with the deluxe. And at that time, the deluxe only had secretarial pockets. And this is my favorite type of deluxe. Because if you look at, this is a Foxy Fix here. It's a single elastic, which I prefer a single elastic. People think I'm crazy, but I prefer a single elastic, and I prefer the secretarial pockets. Now this one also has these little card pockets, which, oop, I got a tea tag. I haven't used this in a few months. Trader Joe's winter tea. I love that. I'm gonna put that in my journal. Find things everywhere. The closure elastic. I took out the closure elastic so it wouldn't leave a mark. But see, secretarial pocket. I prefer that. I think it's more useful than the card slots. But anyways, so I just thought it would be a fun little trip down memory lane and my first notebook that I used for One Book July. And this is one of the notebooks. I have 2 Chic Sparrows that I will never sell. This one, and then the Passport one that Jennifer made for me. That is one of my design. It's unique. I'll show that in a video. I haven't showed that one in a long time. I'll show that in a video in the future. But yeah, and it's so soft and it's squishy, and it has, even though it looks like there's lots of texture, it's smooth. It's really, really nice. This is hands down my favorite notebook of all. Isn't that beautiful? And these are personal inserts. These are the ones that you could split down the middle and hole punch. There was no special sizing. I just printed them at 100%. Yeah, so, and I was just using digital download papers that I had. So that was my very first One Book July notebook, and I love it, love it, love it. Feels so nice. Okay, so the reason we're here is One Book July 2020, and you'll notice you don't see an iPad on my table. And the reason you don't see an iPad is I touched it once last week. Well, it is on my table. It's over here. I was watching Robin Talks from the Heart, doing some journaling. But I didn't grab the iPad as much as I thought I would. I shared a video just yesterday, 2 days ago. I've been spending a lot of time doing fun stuff like this. Like, look at hers. I've been trying to do more art journaling. I've been trying to, that one's pretty. That's a mess. I did them last night. I've been trying to do more with my art supplies because I have a ton of art supplies and I don't want them to go bad like my alcohol markers by Jane did. I think that's more of a manufacturing thing than them going bad, but still, I don't want to have them go bad. So I'm using, like I shared, her Happy Hour art journal books to use her supplies to learn how to layer acrylics and different supplies. So I didn't grab the iPad that much, and I do have the iPad where I can use what's that program? Procreate and other programs like that, because I have the Apple Pen or pencil or whatever they call this thing, and I wanted to use my art tools, my actual physical supplies, not the digital supplies. So I would have it sitting off in the corner playing a podcast or something, and then I would be actually in that book or in here and not actually be using the iPad that way. So I guess I am back in one book. I am in one book. It's this book. This is a documented journey cork. I think she calls this Sweet, and this pocket is called Totem, but I think she doesn't have this anymore. When I got mine, it was a, we're running low, sort of a, I can't get it back sale to, to get rid of the little bit of the very little inventory she had of it. And I'm loving this notebook. I know I love, like here I've got my first Pan Am Traveler's notebook. I love the leather notebooks, and like when I get the feel of this Chic Sparrow, it brings back lots of warm, fuzzy memories of when the planning community was different and everything was, new and exploration. I mean, I've been using a Traveler's notebook since 2013. So I've been in the planning community now for 7 years, little over 7 years. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I have fond memories of this Traveler's Notebook. And I think that's one reason why I'm in the process of paring down my notebooks. Like, I have 2 Pan Am notebooks. Does anyone need to know? Am I going to get rid of one? I don't think so. You know, I've got 2 Olive. I've got... This is one that actually says Midori, made in Thailand. I've got many that say that, and those aren't leaving anytime soon. Or like this Foxy Fix. This is one that's staying in my collection. It's the Rowena. I have a passport in the Rowena as well. But it's not single elastic. I wish I had gotten a single elastic. It's a 4 elastic, and it makes me like this hold so much stuff. I mean, look at all that chunky notebook in there. I mean, that's nice, but I can't fit that in my pocket. And that's one thing that blows my mind is I can't believe I carried this around as a wallet. Like I had a plastic sleeve insert with my wallet stuff, and I was very extra that summer. Anyways, we'll put that aside. But so this is a documented journey cover. I will leave Bree's link below. I will leave Chic Sparrow's link below. I will leave Foxy Fix's notebook below, but I don't know if they're making notebook covers anymore because they're doing something different. And for those of you that love the original, the Traveler's Company, Traveler's Notebook, Traveler's Factory, Midori brand, I will link them below as well because they have an online shop where they will ship to America. So I haven't tried it because shipping in Japan isn't shipping to America for various reasons. But I will link them below as well. But let's take a look to see what we have in here. And there's a reason why I have the Traveler's Notebook, because some people saw photos of it, and like I've got a lot of stuff in here. I have a monthly insert. It's my version that Paper and Cats did. It's the month on a page with 2 pages of grid in between each month. And then mine at the very end has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages. I think if you get them now, there's just 2 pages or something like that at the end. I have a weekly. This is my week on a page. It's a Paper and Cats, which is exactly like the Traveler's Company one I used to use. Here, to show you. Here's let me see if I can find a blank week. Week on a page, grid. Let me go to a blank one. Week on a page, grid. One of the reasons why a lot of people have said, well, if Midori makes a insert that is a week on a page and grid and is the Midori MD paper, which it is, it's my favorite paper, and it's a slightly thicker MD paper. A lot of people say, well, how come you don't use the Midori? I said, well, one thing about the Paper and Cats is you can see it's very minimal, it's very clean. It's just the week, nothing fancy, grid, nothing fancy, right? This has all of these little calendars, and it's like wasted space that I don't need, and you know, all of that type of stuff. Same thing with the monthly. Here's the monthly. Did I? Yeah, I guess I did fill out most of it. You'll see there's all of this stuff here, which, you know, I don't know how I feel about that. I would rather be able to use that space for tracking bills or certain tasks that need to get done. I know they've got the space on the bottom, but I don't know. I don't use this. It's wasted space for me. So that's one reason why I choose the Paper and Cats version. But here, let's take a look at last week. Here's my last week. As you can see, I mean, nothing is, you know, going on really that much. So there isn't much here. I do have a new Muji pen because the one that I was using finally finished. Oh, I've got a... Chad's father is in the hospital. He fell yesterday afternoon and then fell later in the evening. So Chad's out at the hospital waiting to see what is going on. So that's why I'm up early today doing this. My weekly review. And so just a little doodle I did. Mindy was doing a bunch of Mickey Mouses, and so I drew a Mickey, and that's a little sticker. It smells like a crunchberry or a cherry. So there's my weekly view, and I actually did do this, but I just didn't mark it. Because I haven't been needing to get into my planner like I do or have in the past. Yeah, and so here we are for this week. I guess I can put here film 1 book July 2020 week 2 review. I'm doing that. So that's why I choose the Paper and Cats over the Midori, because it's clean. And I can print this on any paper, as many copies of it as I want, because I always purchase the digital download, because it's easier for me. And I don't have to worry about shipping, and I have the tools to make all of them. So I have that. I still have my writing board. This thing has been staying with me the whole entire time. Now I have added, since I haven't been really going anywhere, I have added some stuff to this. I do have a zipper pouch. I have so many of these things. I decided to pull one out and put like one of Mindy's cards in here. It's one of her newer cards. Isn't that so sweet? There's a little black kitty cat on top of a roof and someone sleeping. Some Traveler's Factory stuff. My folder with some information in it, and then this is the pretty much the amount of journaling I've been doing this week, because I've been spending a lot of my time in the arting department. I've been just writing a little bit each day. I got some washi from a friend on Instagram. I was looking for something, and the husband decided to snag it because he liked it, but I have this little piece to remind myself, and then just some journaling. And this is the MD paper that I print my inserts on. The Midori stuff. The back end of the zipper pouch with some Post-its. And then this is on Kokuyo paper, a dot grid insert I printed on Kokuyo paper, where I've started taking notes for a Mindy Lacefield class that I've started. I wasn't feeling the motivation to do that because I needed to get in the habit of just doing art daily and getting out acrylic paints and getting out all of that stuff. So you'll notice this is a folio. There's no elastic in it, and I've got all of this stuff in here. And most people don't have standard size folios. What they have are, I'll use the Pan Am. They usually have a traveler's notebook with 1 or 2 elastics like this. It's one piece of elastic that goes through 2 sets of holes. So you can use it the way I have here, where I have the monthly calendar on the smaller elastic, and then I have the weekly calendar on the larger elastic. It works with this brown Midori, is because I've had this brown Midori for, since probably 2014. I have one that I use all the time, one that I cut down to personal size, but that one I think says Traveler's Factory, and then this one that never got used. It just held old inserts. Yeah, so you can use it that way, but it's an older one, so the elastic is like stretchier. So some travelers' notebooks, it might not work. Oop, that was that elastic. So you can fit all of this type of stuff in your traveler's notebook. Let me, oop, I'm stuck. Okay, and I just had some stickers in there from Mindy. But, so you can see how thin that is. That is, like, just as thin as the leather from the Midori. And so here you have all of this stuff. If all I do is put it in here, you can see it'll fit perfectly. Now, I have tabs on my monthly, so that's the only downside to those tabs from Midori. But you can fit all of this stuff inside your traveler's notebook. So one thing you'll notice is I do have all of this stuff. I have a notebook on one side of an elastic. I have, and then on this side of the elastic, because this folder, I'm not explaining this well. Let's just take it all apart and then we'll. All right. So I have a monthly insert, a weekly insert, a notes insert, a weekly insert, a grid, a folder, and a zipper pouch, which is a lot. It is. But if you just have, ooh, I might have bumped you. I'm so sorry. If you just have a few extra elastics like this, I've got a couple that I tied and one that came with a Moterm I have. So let's just, July is the center. Let's put an elastic here. The monthly, yeah, we'll put that on an elastic. So let's do elastic. Where'd it go? Let's put the zipper pouch with that as well. Then on the other side of that elastic, I'll put the folder. And then I'll put the art journal. So I have an elastic holding an insert in the zipper pouch, the folder. Let me take this out just so it's not in the way. And an insert. And I'm going to slide this under the center elastic. So right there, for a lot of people, that is enough, right? They've got a monthly, they've got a weekly, they've got a folder and a zipper pouch, and a pen loop because it's attached here. That is a lot of times what I have in my notebooks. Or I might have an extra insert, because if you open up to the center where we have our large elastic, you can put this, like a dot grid. And then for most people, that's all you need. And for a lot of the time, other than this extra insert, that's what I have. Something you can do, since we have one of the adhesive folders in the back, or pockets, you can put an insert back there, and it fits perfectly. And so you still have very little overhang. And then if you want to, you can stick this back in your folder. Since it's a writing board, And there, oh, let me put the bookmark in. And there you go. There's very little overhang. The main reason the overhang that I have is because of these little tabs. But this isn't necessary if you have a folder and the zipper pouch and that insert in the back. So all that stuff that I fit in here without any elastic, and here's this. Let me double check to make sure we're still rolling. Yeah. So you can fit quite a bit in a traveler's notebook with one elastic. Now, if you were to get one like by Foxy Fix, you'll notice, here, let me take these inserts out. I'll keep the Foxy on the bottom. You'll see it's about slightly more than 1/4 of an inch wider. So you will be able to get so much more stuff in the Foxy Fix notebook. And it also has pockets, so that's another way that you can fit more stuff in there. So that's how you can fit. I've got 4 inserts, a folder, and a plastic zipper pouch in there, which is quite a bit, and it feels so nice in my blue Pan Am. But what I'll do is I'll take everything out and I'll show you how I got it in here. I think I might have had a little, oh, this sticker, okay. I'll cut that out. Okay, I'm gonna take this apart and I will be back. Okay, we're back. So here is my empty folio. Notice I have not put elastic holes in it. I'm not going to do that because I can fit everything that I need in here. So you can see I have my 4 inserts. I have my zipper pouch, my folder, this little folder and writing board, my writing board, and the little stickers and card that were in the front. So we're going to, how did I have this? Okay. Okay. Now, this is my weekly insert. This one, I had both the front and the back in the pockets. Okay. Now, I had my monthly insert up here in the front, if I can get that in. Oops. And I had this going up here. This is an old ollie clip that's really strong. There's my weekly. Now, in the back, I had in the back my dot grid insert with an elastic on it. Slipped in the back. So basically I just had 3 inserts, like my 3 main inserts that I need. My monthly, my weekly, my dot grid for notes. I mean, that's technically all I need. But since it's One Book July, I also have a journal, a zipper pouch, and a folder. So what I did was I put my folder inside of the zipper pouch, and then I put my journal inside of the folder, so they're all just stacked up in the center, and I put this on the side of the elastic. So all of this is on one side of the elastic, and this notes is in the back cover. So when you close it, you've got that. Now I can take this writing board and folder, and I've been putting it in this side just so that way if I have anything in there, it'll get caught in the folder. And then I had these cute little stickers and things from Mindy up front. Still good. And then I had my writing board that I made sticking right in here. And then my Muji pen on the pen loop. So that's how I get everything into one folio. I know it looks a little complex, but there it is. That is my one book for One Book July, now that we're in week 3 for me. And I'm actually loving it, having it in here. Now I have these other notebooks that I could go into, but I'm not going to. I'm going to stay in my cork notebooks until I feel the need to change, and I have been in them for quite a long time. Like, here's my wallet. Cute, cute, cute. And here's my planner. So, if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I'm sure this is a lot longer than I intended it to. I'll try to snip as much as I can. And, you know, just if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. I'll link all of the shops that I talked about. And I hope you have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.